More businesses in a South Minneapolis neighborhood are announcing they will remain closed. Sparrow Cafe, the latest closure, comes after Terzo also decided it wouldn't reopen. But one business is still hoping to return to the community, Paperback Exchange. Heidi Wigdahl caught up with the beloved bookstore.
Stories are full of twists and turns, this one being no exception.
We don't have a storefront anymore, and trying to keep it going is pretty hard without any real space to work with.
Rachel Pedersen, the manager of the Paperback Exchange, has been working out of her home since the winter.
Yep, February 13th, the water main broke. I think even in that moment we knew how bad it would be.
The water main break flooded this 50th and Penn building,
Came under the sidewalk.
taking with it 100,000 books, or about 80% of Paperback Exchange's inventory.
It felt like home to me. It was beyond devastating to see it be destroyed in that way.
A month later, Paperback Exchange marked its 50th anniversary closed.
It was started by a small group of local teachers and women who just wanted to own a bookstore. In '91, the Herseys, the family who owns it now, decided to buy it.
It's too soon to really tell what will happen next.
That was owner Marion Hersey back in February. Now in July, they're still not ready to close the books.
It's very exciting.
They're currently looking for storefronts or even a temporary space.
Unfortunately, because the city hasn't offered any financial compensation for what happened, a lot of businesses have been forced to close. Currently, the landlord of the Penn Place building has been forced to pay for everything out of pocket. And so that means there's still no floors, no water, no electricity, and we could not commit to that building at this time just because everything is so uncertain.
Rachel says despite the plot twists,
Hello.
they want to stay in the community, one that's lifted them up, whether supporting one of their pop-up events or GoFundMe. For now, they're still writing the next chapter.
50 years is a long time and a legacy, and we want to keep that going if we can.
Heidi Wigdahl, KARE 11 News.
Well, if you want to support Paperback Exchange, they're one of more than 100 vendors that will be at the Book Fair for Grown-ups this weekend. It's happening Saturday from noon to 7 in the Education Building at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. Looking to save money this summer? Don't worry, we're not going to tell you to stop buying coffee at your favorite coffee shop. However, Consumers Checkbook has come up with 65 things you probably shouldn't be paying for. Rita Sargentopoulos sat down with them to go over a few.
It's kind of our greatest hits of unnecessary spending.
Don't worry, we won't bog down your brain with all 65, but what we will do is highlight some of the things that maybe you've wondered about.
About a dozen of the items on our list are these little mini insurance policies everyone's trying to sell us these days.
From cell phones to home warranties, even trip protection.
Yeah.
Kevin Brassler says, keep your cash.
All these companies are just ramping up anxiety about things that might go wrong and saying, oh, it might be costly if things go wrong, even if it's not. All of these things are wasteful buys for most consumers. These policies are enormously profitable for the companies that sell them and the insurance companies that back them. But most consumers come out far behind in terms of cost benefit when they buy these plans.
As for airline trip protection, Brassler says if you can't make the trip, airlines will give you a trip credit. So what are you even protecting? Unless you fly basic economy.
I really urge people not to book basic economy fare. Most people want to pick a seat. They may want to check a bag or even carry one on. And basic economy fares don't let you do those things for free or don't let you do them at all. But the biggest problem with basic economy fares is that they don't let you make changes, and if you want to cancel your trip, you're not going to get a trip credit back.
The list also includes hotel parking, because you can use websites like Spot Hero or ParkWiz to find cheaper ramps nearby. Exterminators, because most infestations can be taken care of yourself without having to sign up for a monthly or annual plan. And even diamonds. Turns out a girl's best friend can be grown in a lab.
They're far less expensive than mined diamonds, and also they don't come with all the complications that mining companies have that have revolved around mining companies for a long time.
Rita Sargentopoulos, KARE 11 News.
Okay, here's one more. Ebooks. Brassler says almost all libraries now buy ebook licenses, so no need to fork over the cash unless you really want to read a new release and don't want to be waitlisted. You can check out the whole list of tips at KARE11.com. Business is expected to boom at U.S. Bank Stadium with the historic guest announcement. Sir Paul McCartney is coming back to Minneapolis. The Got Back tour rolls into town on Friday, October 17th. Ian Russell shares reaction from fans.
Sure to be a legendary night.
There's not many people who get fanfare like this.
Today's a pinch yourself kind of day for me.
Then again, this is no ordinary person.
Hey, Paul McCartney, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir Paul McCartney is taking his Got Back tour to Minnesota this October, a historic announcement,
Just Yellow Submarines. It's a favorite.
but one that may not have wowed everybody.
There's been bigger shows. I think that there's definitely been bigger shows.
Still, McCartney is a huge name and will likely draw tens of thousands of people.
Isn't everyone a Beatles fan at some point? Everyone has to have a favorite Beatles song, right?
In McCartney's early days, he and the rest of the Beatles played in Minnesota in the 60s. He's played here a number of times over his ever-present past, the last happening nearly a decade ago.
So to have him as royalty of the music world pick us again is pretty amazing.
Kathy McCarthy with Meet Minneapolis says they hope people make a weekend out of his Friday night October performance, with millions of dollars expected to be generated from fans heading here.
They get to see Minneapolis, their fans get to see Minneapolis. It's really a good thing for us and our region.
So whether you've been a fan since 1985,
I'm a Hey Jude person.
She loves you, yeah.
or just coming up,
All you need is love.
the advice from fans is to just listen to what this man said.
I love Minnesota, and I love the Beatles. It's like a perfect match.
Stick with us. We have more news and weather coming up after the break.